Hey guys, Clumsy here, and welcome back to ETS2. Still in vanilla, still no mods. This is the truck that we configured in the previous video, the 8x4 new Scania that will be coming out in 1.31. Wow, these guys are noisy, huh? And we do have a job today. I am in the middle of the job. I was doing some offline trucking, and yeah, I was just excited to bring you guys with me, so I didn't start from the beginning anymore. But yeah, you can see the trailer cables are actually pretty nice, huh? Attached pretty well in there. You can see the textures, the reflections and everything. And the trailer itself is actually matching with our truck. It's a 44-ton asphalt miller. So let's get started. This is actually a pretty long journey. This started I think it started over at Milano. I drove all the way until near Hamburg, and I was able to discover a lot of other cities on the way. So all in all, I think it's around 2,000 kilometers. But yeah, now we still have 1,000 plus to go, so I think that's just perfect. So in this episode, we'll be doing heavy cargo type of thing, but not the special transport. So it's more traditional in that regard. Also, I'll be continuing with the Q&A session. So I started with a Q&A session last episode. Well, in the last ATS video, American Truck Sim. Not sure if you watched that, but I was able to answer a couple of questions from you guys. So if you haven't, I highly recommend you check it out as well, because that's when it's all started, the Q&A thing. There we go. Alright, we are good. V8 engine, I think it's a... can't remember, let me see. 450? 550? 580 actually. 580. We're good, alright. And the bad thing about this is that these SCS default German roads are not the best. They're the ones which suddenly cut off. They're the ones which don't look realistic so much, because these are the roads that are from like the ETS2 version from 5 years ago. These are the original roads that they had. So not very detailed, not very realistic compared to the new ones they have in France, in Italy, and in Scandinavia. So very, very different setup. So you can see, you will notice the transition when we leave Germany, enter into Denmark, and then into Norway. You'll see how it looks. And yeah, by the way, we are going to Norway, if you didn't notice that in the map, to Bergen. But yeah, as I mentioned, we don't have any mods enabled, so this will be a purely vanilla experience. If you get the DLCs, if you buy the game, this is exactly what you'll get. You don't need to enable any mods, and this is the experience you will be getting. That's thanks to SCS's consistent and constant continuous updates. I really like those trailer cables at the back, and they work pretty well with the physics. Yeah, I am starting to eat up a lot of lanes though. Alright, let's go and drive. Let's yeah, there you go. Let's keep this going. Yeah, I was doing a lot of offline trucking, just because I don't know, even if it was vanilla, I was enjoying it so much. Just driving with a pretty modern and high-tech truck, enjoying the new FOV in the mirrors, enjoying the look on the trailer cables and these random events. Oh, that's pretty interesting. That's something new. What is this? Ooh, a crash. Crash, and something seems to have like burnt down or something, because the firemen are there. That was kind of weird though, wasn't it? The cones seemed like they were a bit too close to the accident. It seemed like a bit dangerous. Like if you didn't notice that, then you would slam into them immediately. It seemed pretty unsafe. Anyway, let's go forward. We are moving out on the next intersection. We are taking this exit, going to A7, I guess. Autobahn 7. based on the signs there. Yeah, looks like it. Let me slow down a little. Oh, 40. Rip. Speeding a bit there. There we go. Alright. Let's just keep that speed. Alright, and let me start with the questions. We still have a couple. Even though I answered some already in the previous ATS episode. So let me see. The last question I answered was from Scotsman, where he asked, what do I like most in simulation games? And just to recap, I answered that by saying it's what I learn. It's what I learn when I play these games. They're not just games that you can't bring with you. They're actually games that you can experience real life from and you can learn from. And in some of those, you can even apply in real life. It's such a fulfilling thing. Playing and learning at the same time and being able to apply that in real life. So the next one is favorite part of the map. This was asked by Bricks at Home, our Pro Mods developer in the Wales area. And I'm not sure if this is a trick question because he is a Pro Mods mapper of the Wales area. So favorite part of the map, maybe Wales. Yeah, just kidding. But in truth though, it's so good there, but I just can't make myself drive there so much because people there drive on the wrong side of the road. Even though I live in Singapore where it's right-hand drive, just doesn't make so much sense to me. I don't know. I always get confused. There are some people who are very used to that and they don't really like treat that differently when they drive, for example, in Europe and then they drive in the UK. So they don't mind driving on the left or right side of the road. But me, I do. I still get confused. And even though I've been living in Singapore for like 5 years already, I still get confused every time I do that. It's so weird. Every time I still wonder. It's still not natural to me to see someone where the steering wheel is on the right side of the car and they're driving on the left side of the road. I don't know. It's probably because I grew up in the Philippines, where it's like in the US and in mainland Europe, so to speak. It's the side of the road you're driving in, the side of the car you're at. And I learned to drive there. I drove there only. I don't really drive here in Singapore. So maybe that's why the concept of left-hand drive stuck with me. That's probably it. But yeah, my favorite part of the map, I'm a bit fickle-minded when it comes to that because there are so many good places. I'm sure my favorite place is part of Pro Mods. I'm just not sure which one exactly. But from the top of my head, it's probably going to be North Cape. Yeah, North Cap. Probably. It depends on the mood. But if I like a scenic spot, then it's the drive going up North Cape. If I'm feeling more like I want to get into the complex highways and intersections, maybe around the Netherlands area or Scandinavia. One of those. But usually that's where I enjoy driving the most, those two areas. Spain is the roads towards Spain, the highways in there near Barcelona are super complex, but I'm kind of get turned off by the frame rate loss. So even though it looks so good, the experience is kind of dulled a bit because you get lower frame rates. So the feeling is not as good as, for example, in Scandinavia or in Holland, where did you see? There was that like tow truck. I think that's a new AI vehicle from 1.31. But yeah, so most likely Scandinavia and Holland region. Oh no, Let me correct myself. Scandinavia and Germany. I just remembered. This is with Pro mods, okay? This right now we are in Germany, but this is SCS. We don't have Pro mods here, so if you have Pro mods enabled and you drive through the German autobahns, so good. It's so good. When you're feeling like you want to drive through highways, I think Germany would be the best bet, because I don't think anyone can beat the autobahns there. But probably a lot of people will have different opinions. If you do have something else, let me know in the comments, alright? I'll be interested to know what your favorite things are. Like if you're in the mood for a very urban drive, like you want to drive through those highways, you want to experience the beautiful highways, where do you go here in ETS2? For me personally, that would be Germany, because when I bought that Actros MP3, and when I did that like a J-spec kind of thing, and we just crossed borders, we are in Denmark now. So the roads should start getting a bit more modern. Not because Denmark has better roads, but just because... Oh, roadworks. Oh crap. But just because Denmark has been developed later on, I think, than Germany was in terms of SES development of this game. So we should start seeing more complex routes. Oh, this is pretty nice, huh? Full on roadworks here, and yeah, don't worry about that. That's just the loan repayment. How much do we have now? 65k. Okay, that's not too bad. Good. So yes, I probably if I were to choose only one place, it would probably be Germany. German autobahns. This is why I enjoy so much with driving in Pro mods, and it's in the center. So whenever you do a long haul delivery, most likely you will pass through Germany at one point. And if you have Pro mods in, it will be such a pleasure driving through them, because the autobahns are just not just like straight lines. They curve, they go up and down. They have these fancy kinds of roads where I can't really describe them. You have to drive through them to experience it. And there are some like roadworks that Pro mods team built in, which increase the immersion, improve the experience, not just flat road. You know, there's some twists and some excitement in there as well. And most of the time when I drive, I'm looking for that urban feel. I'm not much of an off-roader. I really like driving through very nice highways, and that's why I think if I were to choose only one, I would say it's the German autobahns. Yeah, Germany would be my best bet because of the beautiful highways. Okay. Well, hope that answered your question, Bricks. Thanks for that question. I hope that was not a trick question. But yes, you guys let me know which one your favorite is. Let me know if you agree or if you have something else. I would be pretty interested to get your side of things. So let me know in the comments, okay? Chris Magnus has a different question. Favorite place in the world? I guess it's in real life. I assume that's in real life. Might be a crash there or something. And do we go straight? We do go straight. Yeah, look at the signs are definitely different. Yeah, the how the signs look with regard to where you're going. Not anymore the blue colored ones. The road signs are more Danish now. And I think the textures are getting better. But we'll see that more as we go. The more we go north, the more we'll notice it. Because to be honest, I'm not sure when the transition happens. When default SCS, the base, like the original SCS map ends, and when the Scandinavia DLC starts. When Scandinavia, because I started ETS2, I think after Scandinavia got released, so I'm not really familiar with it. Okay, speeding again. Let's go do some engine braking in here. There we go, that looks good. Okay, there we go. sorry, I had to go like full concentration there. So I always have a hard time when I slow down like that. It's a bit hard, especially when you have this heavy load behind you. It looks pretty nice, huh? Yeah, works perfectly well. Matchy colors. Good. So, favorite place in the world? And as always, when you have something like favorite, I'm always fickle-minded when it comes to that. I don't have one single favorite, but I have lots of favorite places. Right now, though, I would say, if it's in terms of travel, among all the places I've traveled to, it's not like I travel so much, but I've been to some places, and I haven't been in there like I haven't been traveling long, like only like few days, 1 week, so I don't really know the full experience. But given my limited experience, and did you notice the texture change? The road texture is different here now compared to back in Germany. Yeah, I think this is start of Scandinavia. If I were to guess, this is it. So, if I were to... So I've been... Where have I been? I've been to the US. Some places in the US only. West Coast. Like LA, San Francisco. Well, San Francisco, California, Nevada. A little bit of Arizona, I guess. But super quick. Just a few days at most. On each state. And then I've been to Ohio, in Cincinnati, for a couple of weeks. But I have not really experienced the entire... I have not been immersed in the local culture, so to speak. So my experience is very limited. Oh crap, why are you slowing down, bro? Why? Oh why? Maybe he was rubbernecking what was happening over there. Okay. So yes, I've been there. I've been to some places in Europe. And yes, still also just a couple of days. I like to think of it as like a sampler. Like I have no chance to immerse in the culture itself, but I have a chance to see what they have to offer high level, so to speak, in basic terms. I've been to some of the countries in Europe, Poland, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, France, Italy, but as I mentioned, just a couple of days each, so very limited experience. And I would probably say Europe is in my top 3. Yeah. Which city in particular? Not really sure. If I were to decide in Europe and where I've been, where did I have the most fun? Where? It would either be in Venice, Rome, or Amsterdam, probably. Yeah, that's actually where we want to go and stay longer next time. So maybe it's there. If I were to decide in Europe, those are my favorite areas so far. But and then I've been to, of course, because I'm from Asia, I'm from Singapore, originally from the Philippines. So I've been to many countries in Asia. Not all, of course, but a lot of them. Well, one of my favorites is Thailand for sure, because I love Thai food. And Thai people are very courteous. They're very hospitable. And yes, the food, no one can beat Thai food. That's my absolute favorite. I guess if you ask me about all kinds of favorite, I would be pretty fickle-minded. But when you ask me about my favorite food, there is no question. It's Thai food. Yeah, so I can eat Thai food every day. Super spicy curry, tom yum, pad thai, the minced salads and everything. Ah, man, my mouth's watering now just imagining it. But yeah, that's my favorite food. I know that wasn't the question, but my favorite place has to be Japan so far. I've only been to Japan for like more than a week, so yes, as with the other places, didn't have much time to explore and get immersed in the culture itself. But I think from what I've seen so far, Japan is my absolute favorite. It has the perfect balance of how do you say? It's modern in terms of its technology because it's Japan, right? How can it not be modern? Super high tech. But at the same time, it has that classic feel. It has history. So if you're looking for history, there is much history in there. Everything has a story, everything has an origin, and the culture is super rich. There are some cities where we want to go where the houses still look like medieval Japan, like when the era when samurais were rampant. There's a chopper there again. And the Bricks told me that whenever there's a chopper like that, that actually means that there's a road event. Actually, a road chase. How do you call it? A car chase, yeah. And most likely, the car that's been caught by the police is like a Lamborghini or some other sports car that has those neon colors. So keep your eyes peeled. Maybe we'll get lucky and see one of those on the side of the road. I don't think on this particular road though. It might be on another one. But yeah, so that's what I'm. Japan will be my number one spot because it's the perfect balance between technology, history, culture, and the people are. The food is so good. I'm sure everyone has tried the Japanese food at one point or another. That's the reason why it's so global. It's because it's so good. And especially if you have the food from Japan itself, especially the sushi. Oh man, we tried that when we were there. There's this certain my bad. There's this certain like wet market, Tsukiji market. I'm not sure if it's still open. I think I heard they are moving, but it has like the best sushi ever, the freshest sushi ever, melts in your mouth sushi. So it's raw fish with wasabi and everything, and the chefs like slice it for you, add different ingredients, merge it together for you, and when you taste it, it's literally melt in your mouth. That is the only sushi I've tried that actually melts in your mouth with how fresh it is. So the food is definitely good. So culture, technology, history, food, and the people are so courteous. We've all seen these videos in Facebook and everywhere else where how courteous and how refined and how disciplined the Japanese people are. It is not an exaggeration from what I've seen. I've heard a lot of different stories from friends about how courteous and nice the Japanese people are, and yeah, I must say they're pretty true from what I've seen. So yeah, and then the safety as well, because in Japan, because of that discipline, you're not afraid. It's one of those places where you're not afraid of someone like just snatching your bag or wanting to do you harm or anything like that. You feel safe even when you're walking the streets. You don't have to like be scared or be wary. Of course, there are exceptions, and you always have to be cautious of your environment. But in Japan, you have to be likely less so. And it's just such a refreshing feeling, because truth be told, I'm a very paranoid traveler, because I grew up in the Philippines, and in the Philippines you have to be very how do you say, there's this local term, I think it is actually Spanish, listo means you have to be, it's also a Filipino word. Listo means you have to be very conscious of your surroundings. You have to be very how do you say, you're on your toes. You're not too relaxed, you know. You always have to be prepared for someone wanting to do you harm or trying to steal from you. And in the Philippines, I grew up having like that kind of mentality, because even though the Philippines can be relatively safe, there are areas and there are like people who will want to do you harm, and you never know when you encounter them. So it's like I grew up with that kind of mentality. Never leave your things lying around unsupervised. Never leave your bag just on the table. That's why whenever I eat out, my bag is always with me. It always is touching me. Even if it's on the ground or somewhere, I never let it out of my feeling, yeah, out of my sight. Hirtshals. I know I didn't pronounce that right. Probably didn't. Very different look here now. Yeah, even the arrows look very different. I like that. I would guess this is pretty accurate. Can we go now? Thank you. And thanks to the new FOV on the mirrors, I should be able to gauge this easier. Go on the perfect turn there without eating too much space on the opposite side, and at the same time not hitting my trailer on the curb, on the railings on this side. Oh, I didn't know we were going through a ferry. Okay, fine. Good, but we're almost there. So yeah, Japan is really top of my list. I would very much like to go back there and explore each and every city in Japan, because each of the places, as with other countries, they have their own signature, so to speak, different feel. Some are like more urban, more city living, some are more country, some are more naturey, things like that. But yeah, I was mentioning something about in the Philippines. That's where I grew up, and that's where I got accustomed to never letting things out of my sight, because if you do, then it's good as gone. Someone might actually, there is this sign over at the church. So I'm Catholic, and there is this, I think it's in the internet as well, there is this sign in one of the churches, and I can't even remember if it's in the Philippines or not, but there's this sign in one of the churches saying, please mind your belongings. Someone might think it is the answer to their prayers. Like, if you leave your bag lying around and there happens to be like some guy praying, asking God for money, and then he sees a bag lying around unsupervised, he might misinterpret it as that is your money waiting for you. So yeah, that kind of culture. So you never let things out of your sight, and it's very opposite. Like in here in Singapore, people, I've seen people get very careless, so to speak. They just leave their laptops on the table. They go to the washroom. They just leave their laptops there. I mean, I would never do something like that, because where I grew up, if you do that, say goodbye to your laptop. But in Japan, much like in Singapore, you don't have that feeling. You have a feeling that more or less you're safe. Of course, you're never fully safe, but yeah. Wait a minute, if we're going to Bergen, we could actually, instead of driving there, we could actually take a ferry from Hirtshals to Bergen, and we should be there already. Like, look at this. But the question is, do we want a long episode or a short episode? I think we want to drive through here, so let's just go through here. Yeah, Kristiansand. Okay, so let's go to Kristiansand. But just as a matter of principle, let me show you. The game is asking us to go through here and then drive, but actually we can go to Bergen using that and then go there already. And we spend 17 hours. So I guess in terms of the game, it's longer. It's less efficient, but in terms of us, so 17 hours will go by in 1 second. So yeah, but yeah, let's keep it realistic. Yeah, let's go to Kristiansand. So now when we spawn in here, we should be in Norway. There we go. Good. Open the lights, beacons, and we are good to go. Wrong range. There we go. So yes, Japan definitely is my favorite so far. Number 2 on that list will probably be, well, right now, because we've probably Maldives. Maldives has a very beach feel. So if I'm in the mood for a beach, it's probably going to be Maldives. And although we have so nice beaches in the Philippines, I mean, it's not just about the beach, right? Oh, and I'm on the wrong side of the road. My bad. It's not just about the beach, it's about the entire package. And if you like a luxurious beach feel, then the Maldives is definitely where you want to go. Is this where we're headed? No, that's the opposite, so we go straight here, I think. Right? Yeah, it should be. Also, it's getting dark. We'll have to stop soon. I think we have time though. We have 28 hours. And we should be there in 8 hours, okay? Yeah, we have a lot of time to spend. We can sleep when it gets dark. Centrum. Centrum, I guess, is center. City center. Okay, you can go. They'll give me way, I'm sure. Yeah. Daytime headlights mandatory. I like that sign. Yeah, that's one question I have, and you guys might know the answer. If a country says daytime lights mandatory, then you have to have your headlights on the entire day, right? That's clear. But what if you have daytime running lights, DRLs? Does it still require you to have your headlights on like that? Or will the DRLs suffice? That's my question. If you guys know the answer, let me know in the comments. I've always wondered about that, because there are some trucks where you can configure to have DRLs, and it would be kind of redundant having DRLs and headlights, or maybe not, so you let me know, okay? Anyway, so yes, Japan. What else? Then we have a question from Ansari. He says, choose a car between Lamborghini and Rolls-Royce, and also why do you choose that car? So pick a car and why. Would you show off on the road or just keep it clean and drive like a normal person? Okay, thanks for the question, Ansari. And thanks for the question, by the way, Chris. And yeah, this is how I answer the questions. Like a whole episode, I can probably answer only a few questions because I really like to expound on them, because they're very good discussion points. I don't want to waste the question by just answering it in one sentence. I want to give a background and share what I think overall. Hope that's fine with you guys. So, thanks for the question, Chris, about the favorite place in the world, and thank you for this question, Ansari, about the choice between Lamborghini and Rolls-Royce. Now, to be perfectly honest, I'm not very familiar how a Rolls-Royce looks like. Is it one of those? I mean, I'm very familiar with the brand, that the brand exists. But if I'm going to imagine how a Rolls-Royce car looks like, it would be very challenging for me to imagine which particular car it is. But I'm going to assume that it's like a classic car, right? It might be. Okay, I'm going to assume that way. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. And sorry about my ignorance, but yeah, I'm not really familiar with luxury cars. And this is part of the reasoning. I'm not very familiar with luxurious cars, not because I hate them, but because I don't think I'll ever buy them in reality. Even if I'm like the richest person in the whole universe, I probably will not buy one of those. And you know why? Because I'm a cheapskate. I would think of myself as frugal when it comes to, yeah, frugal is the nicer word for cheapskate, okay? I would think myself as a frugal person, especially when it comes to these cars. And although they're super fancy, they're super nice, I don't think they're practical. Because, I mean, maybe in other places they could work, but I grew up in the Philippines, where traffic is super rampant. And if you have like a sports car, a very fancy car, a very fast car, it wouldn't change the fact that you'll be stuck in traffic. So even if you can go like 200 kilometers per hour, if you're stuck in traffic, then you're going at 10 or 0. Right? And furthermore, because of my paranoia, because of what I mentioned before, that I'm really paranoid when it comes to keeping my things safe, I try to keep a low profile all the time. I don't like wearing flashy clothes. I don't like driving flashy cars. I don't want attention grabbing things, because the more you have those fancy and flashy things, the bad people will notice you more. And if they notice you, then they might do you harm. So I try to keep a low profile as much as possible. And this is why I don't like, in particular, in real life, okay, driving fancy cars, sports cars or whatever. So I'm pretty much happy with driving like a family car, family van even. A simple car that's like driven by most of the other people. As long as I have a reliable car, I'm good with that. So that's my personal preference. But if you're going to ask me what I would choose, a Lamborghini or a Rolls-Royce, I would probably go with a Lamborghini. Because as much as I would not drive that in real life, or I would not buy that in real life, even if I had the money, I don't discard the fact that it's such an awesome car. Like, I would be silly to discount that fact. So if I had the choice to drive it, like if I was given a car, if someone was giving me a car, I wouldn't have to spend anything on it, I would choose the Lamborghini. Because having a super fancy futuristic car, that's definitely going to give me a pretty good experience. And like I mentioned in the previous Q&A session, when I'm driving in real life, I like to have something that is modern and futuristic, because the technology with those newer cars or trucks or whatever is something you cannot really, like, you can't really discount that. Like, imagine driving a modern car with air conditioning, driving in Singapore and Philippines, driving in a very tropical country, and imagine having like a classic car that's like one of the best ever, but doesn't have air conditioning. Because during that time, air conditioning wasn't invented yet. So that would definitely give me pause, and I would definitely choose the one with the air conditioning. Now, we could go and argue that the classic cars nowadays, they can all be customized and you can put air conditioning in there. So maybe that changes the things a bit. But all in all, in general, I'm saying I like the technology. I like the improvements in technology that are provided by these newer cars. So I would most likely, if you want me to choose one car over the other, I would most likely choose the newer one. Assuming, of course, that the newer one is reliable. Like, the counter argument there, I would think, is it's not always true that newer cars are better, because sometimes the parts they use are less durable, because they have to be mass produced, and the older cars are more durable because they're simpler. They're the mechanism is simpler. The parts that were used were more durable, more high quality, because back then mass producing the cars was not a necessity. So it was not about maximizing profits from the companies, it was providing a real quality car. Yeah, that could be a counter argument, but I'm assuming that when I am given the choice of a futuristic or modern car versus a classic one, that the modern car is not crappy, yeah, in terms of reliability, in terms of everything. Man, so nice here. And yeah, this is going to be a treat. Driving through Norway is one of the best areas in the game, especially in SES. It's just so scenic. Everywhere you go here in Norway, you're treated with luscious mountains, rivers, bodies of water, and these tunnels. It's always an exciting route. I always love driving through these, even if it's SES default. It's not like the Germany SES default at all. This is really top quality. So when things turn dark, oh crap, we have to take a photo here. You guys know it. You guys know it. I cannot resist taking a photo here. There, I guess. Yeah, let's see. Let's see, like that maybe. Let's take one that's wide. Maybe like that. Let's take a close-up as well. From below. Something like so. Too bad there's a Renault behind, but that's fine, we can ignore it. Good. Now one sec. Let me see how I can do this. Because my screen on the other side is where I have the questions on my second monitor. I'm getting to the end of that screen and I have to scroll it somehow. Maybe I can use my mobile phone to check out the questions. Don't do this in real life, right? I'm using my phone while driving. Don't do this in real life. It is only for game purposes. Questions. Okay, I have it open now. Okay, good. Alright, and Ansari had a follow-up question. Would you just keep it clean or drive like a normal person or show off on the road? And I guess I kind of answered it already with my previous comment. I don't like attracting attention on myself. I like keeping it low profile. So definitely not going to brag and show it off. I'm going to hide it from people's view as much as possible. Like I don't think of myself as the braggy type. I'm not sure if I come across as like that. And if I do, I'm really sorry. But I don't like showing off. I don't know. Somehow I feel like when I show off, I get bad karma, you know? And I'm just not comfortable with showing off. I don't think there's any use in it. So maybe I'll show it to my friends, but I'll try to hide it from everybody else as much as possible. Maybe park on the farther side of the parking lot so no one sees me like going down on a fancy Lamborghini. Yeah, maybe do it like that. I would go that far to avoid attention. So yeah, it's also probably because of my personality. I'm more like an introvert and don't like to over stretch things. If you get what I mean. Although I can imagine how the temptation to show off will be intense when you have a Lamborghini. But just don't hit anything. Oh crap, I knew it. I always hit something there on that side. When it's a steerable axle, I most of the time hit something on one side. When I'm turning that kind of narrow turn, I know how to turn on that intersection when I have a normal trailer, but whenever I have the steerable axle like this one, I always get in trouble. It's my weakness. Alright, but yes, so I won't be showing off at all. I probably will show it off to my friends who know, like, I know I can trust, and I know that I can be more true to them. Like I can show them what I have without being braggy, you know. And that one I can manage. That one I'm okay with, but I won't show it to like nor other people. Right? What else? What else do we have? How many screens? So thanks for that, Ansari. We have the next one, which is from Jack Spanner. Thanks for the question, Jack. How many screenshots for ETS2 have you taken? If you could add any one thing to ETS or ATS, what would it be? Okay, there are two questions. Let me take the first one. Oh, this is so nice. This is so nice. Just don't fall off the road. Okay. How many screenshots have I taken? I don't know, thousands maybe? I never counted. I would like to count it, but I actually lost my other screenshots. Or maybe you can see it in my Steam profile, huh? I haven't really checked that. Because if you remember, I upgraded my PC a couple of months back. And I had to reformat my PC. Yeah, I had to reinstall Windows and everything. And I think I lost all my screenshots from there, at least in my local directory. But I remember before I deleted them, I think I uploaded them to Steam. So you should be able to see how many images I have there. Although that uploaded list is not updated. That's not the most up-to-date version. So maybe there's something else as well. Is this random? Do you guys know if this is a random event or this is really here? This is in, let me see. Can you go and check when you're driving? Go to this place, Stavanger. Oh, maybe you should have rested there. Oh, there's a rest area here. Let's do that. Let's stop there. Can you go and check if that is a rest area or that is a road work for you as well? Because I'm wondering if that's a random road event or if they like kept some of the static road events in the game. Okay, good. So yeah, screenshots, I don't know, I would say 1,000. I really love taking screenshots. It's one of the best parts of this game. I enjoy it much more though when I'm streaming and recording. Like, I take a lot more screenshots when I'm with you guys. When I'm alone, I don't take as many. Because there's something about sharing the photos, right? Taking a nice photo is something, but sharing it with other people is something else. And that's why social media is so famous. Because when you see something that you really like, people have a tendency that you want to share it with other people. Yeah, especially with people close to you. And that's why I want to share it with you guys. So when I'm alone, there's not as much motivation to take beautiful pictures. Oh my goodness. What? Trying to find a nice angle. Okay, let's see. Cross your fingers. Oh man. Too bad the thing is dark, the truck is dark, but let's take a wide photo here. Yeah, see? Every place in Norway. Super scenic. I'll take that, thank you very much. And maybe one from here. That might work. Yeah, that might work. Let's do a symmetrical shot here. And something narrower. Like that would do. Bit more zoomed in, I guess. I'm trying to hide the trees on the side. And I think I can manage that like that. Yes. Good one. Okay, I'm happy. That was so good. And yeah, this is all vanilla. So there are some instances. Skybox is so nice already. Phew, beautiful. Okay. Well, that was a treat. So what's good is we enjoyed that bit of sunset. And yeah, because we're in Norway, I guess, I don't know if during summer the sun doesn't really set so much. The more north you go, the more that behavior is. So I guess the sunset here in Norway, in the part we're at, maybe is minimal. So it's 11 p.m. but you still have a bit of sun in there. Okay, let's go and stop here. How the heck do you park there though? Might be a bit tricky, especially with this trailer. We can try. Okay, we can stop like this. Try not to hit anything, especially not with garbage can at the side. Okay, that works. That works, I'm happy. Stay here in the middle. Occupy the entire area. See you guys in the morning. Let's see how this looks in the morning. Phew. Man, this is giving me goosebumps. See how that looks. Okay. Lights and beacons, and we are good to go. Oh, I forgot my parking brake. Good thing the truck didn't skid off somewhere. Right. Going to hit this. Hope not. How's my trailer? Trailer is doing fine, thanks to steerable axles. If this is a normal trailer, I might have had a harder time making that U-turn. Okay, good. So yes, the other question is if you had any one thing, or did I answer it already? Yeah, I think I answered the screenshots thing, right? I don't know. But maybe 1,000 or something. But yeah, I like taking screenshots more when I'm with you guys streaming and recording. If I'm doing it on my own, not so much, except if I'm planning to share it as well. So usually I take screenshots because I want to share them. Look at that beautiful view. Wow. Nice. Alright, and Jack's second question was if you could add any one thing to ETS or ATS, what would it be? That's a tricky question. Because I'm sure we all have our wish list. And for me personally, I have a lot of things I want to get added, and maybe I'll share them. And I guess this is common to many of us. One thing is, so I'll share what I want, what I like. Yeah, so nice. And then I'll pick my favorite. Okay, that's how I'll do it. So one thing I like for sure is the ability to go out of your truck and interact with the truck. You know, like in Fernbus, where you can open the doors, go out of your truck, drive in first person. Why is there garbage there on the side? Go out of your bus, open the latches, open the different compartments in the bus. I want to do that here. So I want to go down with the truck, be able to open all the compartments on the side, all those containers on the side, yeah, and inside the cab rather, being able to click on those different buttons, make them really interactive. I like that. That's something that really improves the immersion. And the thing here, what do you call that? The tachograph, was it? Which is like the timer for the truckers, so that it logs how long you've been driving and when you're due for a rest, things like that. So interacting with that and then starting your drive, that's super immersive, right? That's super immersive. And that would really add lots of experience and immersion in the game. So that's definitely one of my favorite things to add. The other one is what else? So many things. Tandems, yeah, I'm sure we all want tandems. Official tandems. I think it's possible now. They're slowly adding in the functionality. And but I think my most requested feature top of the list. And by the way, the when you're going in first person and interacting with the objects, with the things, it would be nice if you can also interact with the cables if you're the one who's connecting them. Yeah, not just hitting a button and they're connected already. Like imagine My Summer Car, or imagine Train Sim World, where you go down, you click on the cable, you click where you want to attach it to, and if it's wrong, the truck doesn't work or something, the lights don't work, so it's interactive. That would be so nice. But I think my most favorite feature, wish list, would be the trailer ownership and multi-drops, and what the tandem goes along with that, I guess. Because having a trailer that's your own, that unlocks so many things. When you have ownership of a trailer, first and foremost, you can make it matching with your truck, because it's always a hassle making those match. Like with every job you take, did I do that right? I hope so. Every job you take in the freight market yields you a different trailer, right? And there are so many designs, and the current workaround is to always pick the skin that's matching with your truck, but it's not always available. So it's the quickest or the most apparent advantage of having your own trailer is you can get to paint it as well, and you can make it match with your truck all the time. And that's so cool, because if you have, like, for example, if you have like a clumsy trucking skin for the truck, then we can also have the same for the trailer, and that could always be our trailer. But that's not the biggest thing. That's just like the icing on the cake. The biggest thing when having your own trailer is maybe in having multi-drops. Like, instead of going to a pickup point and getting their trailer, you already have your own trailer with you. You go to a pickup point, you park, and then they add like boxes or whatever, they load up your trailer. And then what's nice is you can maybe have a capacity. Like, okay, this trailer that you have, that you own, can handle like 20 tons of loads. And then this one you're picking up at this particular building is like 5 tons of empty pallets. So when you load that means you still have 15 tons left. And what's nice is if you could do a multi-drop there. So you still have 15 tons left. So you could go then and look and see, are there any other pickup points nearby where I could maybe fill up my trailer with the 15 tons. Maybe there is like a 10 tons more of I don't know, milk, or 10 tons more of toys or whatever. Yeah, so you go to that other building, you pick up 10 tons, and you have 5 tons left, and you get more 5 tons of I don't know, Coca-Cola or something, and you bring all of that. So you now have, for example, 3 different types of goods in your trailer, and they all need to go in different places. And maybe you plan it out, you plan your route. Which would you drop off first? Where would you go to first? How you plan the route. And it would be working already because the GPS is perfectly working. So it's just a matter of having multiple destinations. So in that regard, I don't think it should be difficult at all for SCS to develop. But yeah, the multi-drop thing is really what I'm looking forward to. Multi-drop and trailer ownership would go hand in hand, and what goes along with that as well might be the tandems, because with trailer ownership, hopefully you'll have options on what trailer to own, and hopefully tandems can be part of them. Yeah, but that's probably the most like my most requested feature. Yeah, I'm looking, because if you do that, then that's real trucking, you know. If you watch, for example, Driving Bro, he always has this multi-drops where he like has a tandem and then he leaves one of his trailers on his first drop and then continues on without the tandem, without the second trailer. He proceeds to his destination. And yes, I am speeding, I just noticed. Let's get some retarder action going here. There we go. Oh man, this is so nice. So yes, definitely that would be my favorite thing. Trailer ownership and multi-drops. Because it adds so much to the game. Like imagine, like not only the driving itself, it's also the planning, the route planning. You have to make sure that the route you're planning is the most optimized one. That means you have to make sure that you have to take note of the different times when you have to deliver the goods. Yeah, you have to make sure nothing is late, nothing gets spoiled, or everything is aligned. And you have to make sure that the route you're taking is not too redundant, like going through different roads or going around instead of going straight. 60. Okay. So yeah, that's definitely at the top of my list when it comes to the features. Thank you for the question, Jack. Yeah, and I'm really hoping that comes soon. There are hints though. I've been reading through the SCS forums, and with 1.31 they were adding like all these like sorting for the freight market, right? Actually, maybe I can show it to you. One sec. Let me pause the game and show it to you. So if you go to freight market, you now have all these sorting features, right? Or different types. Now I didn't really recognize what the change could be. Like you could filter for that, and then urgent. No urgent delivery at all. Important? Okay, there's important. Oh yeah, because I don't have that unlocked, I think, that skill. So yeah, you have this filtering options now. And there was like a discussion over at the SCS forums that said maybe with the inclusion of these filters, maybe they're planning to add trailer ownership soon. To be honest, I didn't really get the connection, because if you were able to select different loads, maybe it's not the trailers but the loads, so maybe you can filter them out and then pick them up. Pick up those goods which are compatible with your trailer. Maybe like that. Maybe that's why they said it. But yeah, there's been a discussion that it might be a thing. Maybe trailer ownership is just around the corner because they have that sorting now in there as well. I'm hoping it is, but I'm not holding my breath on that one, because SES might have more things that they're worried about. There's that chopper again. I don't see any car chase though. Maybe it's just chilling. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that one. I can go 80 here, but I guess inside the tunnel I can go 60 again. Right? Probably. 70, okay. And then 60 again here, probably. Right, so thank you for the question, Jack. Very nice. Very nice questions. One sec, let me go through this. Oh, the ever famous roundabout inside the tunnel. Let me slow down here. You should not have such a hard time, ideally, because we have steerable axles. Yeah, not hard at all. Good. And we have a tall gate incoming. Good. Oh crap, I've been recording for an hour. Sorry about this, guys, but yeah, it will take some time because it's a 1,000-kilometer journey. We have 93 kilometers more, so hang tight. Should be finished soon. Wait, so let's see. Let me see what else, what questions we have. So thanks for the questions, Jack. We have a question from I'm not sure how to call you. Electric Games. Are you gonna play FS 17, 19? Farm Sim 17. FS 19, most likely yes. FS 17, probably not. The thing I hate about Farm Sim, well, not really hate. I guess it's more of a multiplayer game, because if you have people to play with, it might be fun. But if you're all alone, it can get quite tedious, couldn't it? Like, it can get quite repetitive and grindy, having to go through a field alone. I don't know. Some would say it would be similar with trucking, but with trucking you see something different every kilometer. Every time you drive, every time you travel, you see something different. You encounter different cars, you encounter different vehicles and road events now and sceneries. When you're like, for example, going through a field, using a combine or something, plowing it or whatever, it's not really much to see, right? I mean, not much in terms of scenery, no traffic. The only thing you would be focused on is keeping your tractor aligned, so you make the most out of that run that you're doing, whatever you're doing, plowing or cultivating or whatever. But if you're doing that alone, it might not be as enjoyable. That's what I'm thinking. So that's why I stopped the series. I played FS17 before, right? But I stopped it because playing alone doesn't really make sense so much for me, because it takes so much time. It gets a bit grindy and repetitive. But if we were able to organize like a multiplayer server or something like that, then that's a different thing. That would be very enjoyable, because even if you're just harvesting a field, you could always talk and discuss different topics. Could entertain yourselves basically. So that's definitely something. But yeah, I probably won't play FS17. Maybe let's wait for FS19, because FS19 I've heard has very nice graphics, new features. But I think the best feature that's new is the super improved graphics. The ones I've seen so far are very promising, like next gen graphics for 2018, something like that. I'm not sure when it will be released. I have no clue. If you guys have more info on that, let me know. And if you have more inputs, like if you have like a reason why you play FS Farming Sim, let me know as well. If you are into the game, why do you enjoy it? And what prevents you from getting bored? Or what makes it not grindy for you? How do you entertain yourselves? Does the alignment of your tractor when harvesting the field, does it make you excited? Or how do you entertain yourself while doing that? So that's my question to you. Let me know if you're one of those guys who play it. But yeah, I totally understand it in multiplayer. Single player, not so much. I don't get it as much. And yeah, we'll leave the questions there for now. I still have a couple more. But if you have more questions, please join the Discord server and then type your questions in there is a questions channel there. Just type it there and I'll answer it eventually. The more we have, the more I can discuss. And this is very good. Thank you for the suggestion. I think Ansari was the one who suggested it, and Jay was the one who suggested the questions channel. So thank you for your inputs, guys. I really like this format. So I can share some news, I can share some insights, some personal opinions, and I can answer your questions at the same time. I remember this route. I remember this because I liked it, how you have those signs on each company. So when you don't have like a GPS, you still know which company you have to go to. But yeah, so keep the questions coming. And if you don't know how to join the Discord server, the quickest way is if you have a Twitch account, just go twitch.tv/theclumsygeek and type on the chat !Discord, and that should Am I going to hit that car? Up, up, up. That car threw me off. Because I think the trailer will sideswipe him. Oh, and this car might be in for a treat. Okay, let's see if I'll hit this one. Okay, good. I think we're good there. Why are we even delivering this asphalt miller to this building? Doesn't seem to match. Okay. Yeah, how would you unload that there? Imagine if you have like a multi-drop. You have to park your trailer like that to load it and unload it. And then you can have like multiple times like that, going to different buildings, unloading and loading. It would be a pretty continuous thing. You would have jobs non-stop. That would be so good, man. That would be a game changer, like ETS2 type of gameplay. Am I going to hit that guy? I think I might. Let's fix this up. I always get confused when it's steerable axles. And it would be nice if you could lock those steerable axles, because when you're reversing, you don't really need that. Most of the time they're just cause for more confusion. Go. Oh crap, did I hit that trailer? I thought I was going to miss it already. That's fine. Steer more? Okay. I'm happy with that. I'll take that. Even hit a little. Not the best parking, but I'll take it. Good work. Ah, crap. We did earn so much though. 88k. Yeah, look how... Wow, level 20 now. Yeah, that's 2,360 kilometers driven. That's, I think, my longest journey yet. The bad thing about that is I think the VT log wouldn't track that in one go, because I kind of stopped in the middle and started on a different profile, so it might have only seen 1,000. Yeah, it only saw 1,000 kilometers. Crap. But yeah, 88k, nothing to laugh about, especially in this profile. Now we're super rich and I'm gonna get more eco driving. I like that more, so I can have a better fuel consumption score. Now we have 160k. Wow, I can actually buy a new truck now. Maybe not yet, almost. I can maybe upgrade the can get like a new garage maybe, or upgrade the garage we have, because the garage is small. I can upgrade that. Supposedly, yeah, 100k. Or I could go and pay off my loans. Not really. Okay, fine. So yes, that is going to be it for now, guys. Let's end the video there. Thank you for staying with me. Hope you enjoyed that one. And if you have questions, feel free to post them on the Discord server. Okay? Anyway, thank you for watching. And yeah, someone commented I actually forgot the headlights. If you look, they're plastic parts, black plastic parts, not matching at all, but it looks like an eyeliner, so it kind of works in the end. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys, and I hope you liked it. If you did, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, really helps a lot, and comment and share with your friends. Thank you for watching. Catch you in the next one. This is Clumsy signing off. Clumsy Trucking, and bye-bye.